Now, today we're doing the movie with the OG vampire, Bela Lugosi, Dracula, the Universal monster movie Dracula, from I believe 1931. This movie is a classic in all the words. It is a spazzle, as I call them. A spazzle movie about a vampire moving to London and his faithful companion Renfield, who is from London but is moving back to London, and the many, many people he eats. Dracula, not Renfield. Renfield eats bugs. It all starts out with Renfield on a carriage trip in Transylvania. Everyone is getting off the carriage to go hide for nighttime. Renfield's like, no, I have to keep going. Dracula's carriage is meeting me at midnight. And the villagers are like, no, dude, you can't do this. They're like, you got to stay in for nighttime, go in the morning. And then he's like, no, I'm meeting this carriage at midnight. I have to go. This is important. And they're like, okay, but if you go in, take this cross around your neck. Dracula's a scary dude. They're vampires. Renfield's like, I don't believe in vampires. Yeah, we'll see what he says later on. So Renfield goes on, and his carriage meets up with Dracula's carriage, and his carriage driver throws his luggage out, kicks his ass out, and takes off into the night. And then climbs onto Dracula's carriage, which takes off into the night as fast as it can. And looks out to complain, but a bat is driving the carriage. And then he gets to Dracula's castle. And Dracula greets him in a way only Dracula can, through a thick accent and lots of spider webs. And then Dracula takes him upstairs to his room and offers him food and drink. And Dracula says the famous line, I don't drink wine, which has been repeated in every Dracula movie ever since, which is originally from the book, actually. Probably the only thing from the book besides character names in this movie. Because not a lot of it is from the book. I have read the book. It's a good book. I highly recommend the book. Which is actually kind of weird that he doesn't drink wine. That makes me wonder if he drinks other things like soda or beer, or is Dracula a big vodka drinker when he wants to get drunk? Anyways, back to the movie. So then Renfield passes out when he sees a bat, because Renfield's kind of a chicken like that. And Dracula's wives, I said wives, there's three of them. Dracula is a polygamist. Maybe he's a Mormon, maybe he's not. They come out to try to suck Renfield dry, but Dracula shows up just in time to save Renfield, and they get on a boat to London. Renfield wakes Dracula up when it's nighttime so he can suck the boat people dry. And the boat crashes in London, and they find Renfield there, all crazy, and take him to the sanitarium. Now, Dracula's belongings, which is Dracula and his three crates of earth. He doesn't have caskets. He only is in a casket in his home state, Transylvania. The rest of the movie is in a crate with his earth in it. Go to his house next to the sanitarium. So I guess he was expecting Renfield to get locked up. I don't know. But Renfield's locked up and Dracula's in a crate. And then Dracula goes out on the town. He eats a woman selling flowers and then goes to a musical. Or maybe it's an opera. Not really sure. But he meets the doctor who locked Renfield up. And he meets Lucy and Mina and Jonathan Harker. Lucy is emphatic with Dracula. She is obsessed with him. And so he kills her first. Lucky for Lucy. But then he sets his sights on Miss Mina. But Dr. Seward, who runs the sanitarium, meets up with Dr. Van Helsing, who says they're dealing with a vampire, Nosferatu. But no one believes in that sort of thing, because why would they? This is a horror movie, and when somebody says something like that, no one believes them, like someone's trying to kill me. No, they're not. You're just making stuff up. I got my foot caught in a bear trap. No, it's not. Your foot just in a ditch. I accidentally cut my hand off with a hacksaw. No, it's not. Your hand's still attached. I broke my glasses. No, it's not. You don't need glasses. That's what they say in horror movies whenever someone says something crazy. So they go, and Mina's getting bled dry. Now, Dr. Van Helsing knows it's a vampire. And then Dracula shows up, and they notice he doesn't have a reflection in the mirror. Now, this was easy to shoot because Bela Lugosi really was a vampire, and he's still around to this day. We're just not quite sure where he is, but he's still sucking people dry. So this was quite easy to shoot. And then Dr. Van Helsing goes up to show Bela Lugosi that he doesn't have reflection in the mirror, and Dracula smashes it. Bela Lugosi plays Dracula, which everybody knows, so I don't know why I'm explaining this. He's the only actor in this movie I know. So he smashes the mirror in a fit of rage and then leaves. And Van Helsing explains that he's a vampire, and vampires can't be seen in a mirror. And then they prepare Mina for a night of wolfsbane all around her and on herself. But Dracula's got other plans. He sends Renfield out to take away the wolfsbane and convinces the nurse to let him in and mixes his blood with Mina's, turning Mina into one of his new brides. Now, during this time, we also hear of a woman in white trying to suck enticing little kids to go into alleys and suck them, and that's Lucy. We never see her again, but we just kind of hear about her. In the book, it goes much more into depth into Lucy, and they end up killing her off. Now the thing is, I always wondered this: does Dracula actually go to the bathroom? I mean, he drinks a lot of blood, so you'd think he'd have to pee, or maybe he'd have to poop. Does he go as a bat? Does he go as a bat and like poop on things, like birds do? Does he go as Dracula and like use a toilet? Anyways, back to the movie. So Mina's become one of Dracula's brides, and Dracula is back to claim her. But Van Helsing and Jonathan Harker claim they will do anything to stop them, and they go to Dracula's house next to the sanitarium, and they go to break in. But Renfield's there, and he claims they didn't follow him, and Dracula throws Renfield down a huge flight of stairs, which I can't believe Renfield survived, but apparently he did, because we got a Renfield movie later on. And they follow Dracula and Mina down into the dungeon. At least I assume it's a dungeon. It might just be a basement. And they find the crates full of earth, and they find Dracula. Van Helsing quickly makes a stake out of the lid of Dracula's crate, and they find a shovel to shove the stake into Dracula's heart, and they stab him, which it doesn't show. It also never shows Dracula's teeth, which, interesting fact, they were banned from showing Dracula's teeth in this movie because they were afraid it would frighten children. The only teeth they were allowed to show were Renfield's, because they were happy to show Renfield's teeth. They were happy they showed Renfield's teeth because they thought Renfield's teeth would make children happy. So they stake Dracula, and Mina all of a sudden gets cured. So we have to assume Lucy got cured and was dead again. Or maybe Lucy got cured and got eternal life. I don't know. And so Mina and Jonathan Harker lived happily ever after, we assume. Or maybe Mina was still a vampire. I don't know. It ends here. Van Helsing's like, I've got some unfinished business to do. So maybe his brides were there with him. There were only 3 crates, so maybe 2 of his brides were there with him. Maybe he was going to go stake Lucy. We don't know. That's how it ends. Most 1930 films had endings like this. But this movie is a spazzle. It's an instant spazzle. It made $20 billion worldwide and put Universal on the map as the next horror franchise, as the next big horror film studio. It typecast Bela Lugosi forever as a vampire, which I don't really think he liked, but he might have, because according to Ed Wood, he slept in a coffin. But I can't imagine sleeping in a coffin. I imagine it hurt your back. But anyways, I highly recommend this movie. It's on Amazon Prime. Surprisingly, it's not on Peacock. It's normally on Peacock this time of year. But this year, it's on Amazon Prime. It's a great movie. Go watch it. Tells the story of Dracula. And then go watch Renfield. It's the sequel movie. Tells the story of Dracula in modern day. Also on Prime. I give it 12 out of 10 stars. Tune in next week. We're doing one of my favorite movies in the Halloween franchise to wrap up October. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. See ya.